Boss Lady Conversations with Monica L.
and Coach Kaya.
Boss ladies are
Vulnerable,
authentic,
love,
hopeful,
abundant.
respected.
Boss ladies are
You.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Boss Lady Conversations. We are so happy to have a special guest with us today. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm your girl, Coach Kaya. I'm a boss wife, mompreneur, sister, writer, and certified transformational coach. I help dreamers access their power by healing the trauma of their past, reigniting their dreams, and manifesting the miracles that matter today. My IG handle is at I am Coach Kaya.
And welcome back, Boss Lady listeners. I am Monica L., a boss lady, Cleveland-born, LA raised, on a journey of freedom and happiness as an educator, entrepreneur, self-published author, and poet. I believe all things are possible through synergy. Let's get it. My IG handle is at Monica L_writer. And I just want to shout out everyone. I mean, season 2 is just brought us so many blessings. We are so thankful for all of our guests, especially tonight's guest, who I'm a huge fan of already. Can't wait to share her. We are just happy that you support us as we're trying to support you in this global pandemic. We know people are going through a lot of things. So we hope that Boss Lady Conversations can provide you with the light. And also you reflect that light back to us. So always reach out to us either on IG at boss_lady_conversations. And you can also email us at bossladyconversations@gmail.com.
That's right. We hope that you've been enjoying season 2 of Boss Lady Conversations, and we love to hear from you.
Yes, love to hear from you. Again, our mission is for you to boss up, to go after the things that are really meaningful in your life, and that you fulfill your purpose, because that's what we're here for, to fulfill our purpose.
Speaking of fulfilling your purpose, we want to let you know that we have the Boss Lady Manifesto Journal, commitments designed to keep you and the little queen inside bossed up. It's currently available on Amazon. If you love it, please leave a review, and we'll make sure that we put the link to purchase the journal in the chat.
Yes, this was a passion project, and we really hope that you enjoy every moment. Coach Kaya and I were so excited in creating this, and more works to come. So definitely let us know, hit us up, DM us, send us a photo with you in the book. We would love to feature you. We're going to have giveaways. So please support us as we support you.
Now let's get into tonight's show. Our topic today is she angry or uncomfortably anxious? How self-awareness can elevate your life with Boss Lady Mindset Coach, Nikki Valentine. Today's show was inspired by Nikki Valentine's recent IG post where she shared this mental health fact. Anxiety often shows up as irritation in Black women. Nikki broke it all the way down, and it was so full of clarity, compassion, and wisdom that we just knew we had to have her on the show. She said yes, and the rest is herstory.
Yes, this is an amazing boss lady guest, an elevation coach and founder of the Style Schumann. Through her social media content, her manifestation workbooks, and coaching program, Nikki supports Black women in elevating their mindset, energy, and lifestyle. Let's give a warm Boss Lady Conversations welcome to Nikki Valentine.
Hi, thank you so much for the beautiful intro. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you here. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So we just wanted to start off by asking, if you could choose one quote that describes your boss lady journey, what would that quote be and why?
Ooh. I think it's that life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. Is my favorite one. And that's because I think we all think we're supposed to follow a certain path. And I fiercely rebel against that, in that you create your own path based on what feels authentically aligned with you. So that's something I always keep at the forefront of my mind, is that if it doesn't exist, create it. If you want to do it, figure out a way to make that happen, even if you don't see it already in a space.
Powerful.
Very. Wow, I love that. Yeah, that just definitely just changes the mindset. And you really have a way of creating intimacy with Black women. What role do you think your intention plays with helping you create this brave space for boss ladies?
My intention is to create the mentorship that I wish I had sooner in my life. I am blessed to have a couple mentors and coaches that are Black women that I do work with and that we have personal relationships with, but that came later on in my life. And I made a lot of mistakes and bumped my head and probably could have gotten ahead faster if I had met them earlier on in my life, because there's not a lot of resources out there for Black women to figure out how to develop. Of course, we can go to college and learn this hard skills, but it's not just hard skills that allows you to succeed. And also, once you succeed, no one teaches you how to handle that. No one talks about the challenges that you face, mental health, wellness, and how to live a holistic lifestyle inside of that success. So for me, it's a passion project because it's all the things I had to learn the hard way that I want to help other Black women not learn the hard way.
And we thank you. Please and thank you.
Yes, yes, and yes. You are so right. I mean, a lot of us didn't even have people that represented the current positions we're in. So
Right.
we didn't have a person to go to and say, I'm having this experience.
Mhm.
You help me and how to navigate this. And
Right.
then if you're in a leadership role, a lot of times you're not taught how to be a supervisor. It's just like you're in it. You knew what type of supervisor you liked, didn't like, and you like try to be the best and trying to maneuver through those different spaces. And like you say, then trying to balance it and not just be all about work. It definitely is a lot of layers. So I'm glad that you found the support. And I like to look at life as just teachable moments. But you're right. We could have gotten ahead faster and we had someone to teach us and guide us in that way, the same way we had educational systems that may or may have not
Mhm.
assisted us. Yes. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that anxiety PSA that you did. When you said, whew, anxiety showing up as irritation in Black women, that really blew our minds because Black women often have so many limited options for grace and self-awareness to begin with, right? So why
Mhm.
did you feel it was important to like speak that truth around irritability, embarrassment, shutting down, and like what that really means for Black women?
I think the lack of understanding of the Black feminine experience has caused us to get slammed in the media more in the last couple of years than ever before. And I think while it seems like pop culture to some people, it is destroying the confidence, the self-worth, and the mental health of Black women everywhere, because we're being told we're too masculine, we're mean, and we have to get our stuff together. And why do you act like that? When there are real issues that we're working with behind the scenes, and some folks are holding on by a thread. So imagine if you're anxious and you're managing a lot and someone tells you you're mean, how crushing is that? Because no one is speaking up for what your true experience is. And it's interesting. Today I was actually in the middle of my workday, and you know how like the power company comes and knocks on your door to do the thing. And I had 10 minutes until a meeting and a ton of work to do. And I actually laughed because I thought about the video. I started to get so anxious that my face started to look mean, but inside I felt like I was going to cry. And I laughed because the young lady was apologizing to me. And I said, "You're actually fine. I'm not mad at you. I'm just in the middle of my workday and I'm super overloaded with this right now." And I thought to myself, like, how many times are Black women in those situations? But you're a human and you don't have time to process. We don't all have the luxury of processing our feelings in real time. And so that person you've interacted with walks away and is like, "She was just mean to me today." No, she just had 1,000 things on her plate today. And she also didn't have the room to cry as maybe some other ones who shall remain nameless have the room to do. Right. So for me, being a career woman, being a woman that's balancing a home life and balancing a business and those things, I understand how we're perceived. And I feel like somebody needs to speak to our defense. And that's really what came to me with that video.
I'm done. I'm just kidding.
Signing on.
Oh, sorry. Yes, yes, and yes. We talk about that, the mask that we have to wear, and then how people perceive us, which we don't have control over. And you're right. People don't know what's going on in your life. And most of them probably don't even care, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like they're still wondering why you even have a seat at the table. So you definitely can't go in there talking about, oh, my this, my that.
I'm stressed. Yeah.
They're like, and where's the project?
Thanks.
Right. They're like, that's really sad. Okay. So, but your work,
Yeah.
so you're absolutely right. And crying, like, what?
We get no room. I actually was, and I'll tell a 30-second story. I was at work once, very overwhelmed, went to the bathroom to have a cry, as we do. And one of my coworkers, who was also a woman, saw me in the bathroom, and she literally looked horrified and said to me, quote, "Oh my God, I didn't know that you cry." And I said, the first thing I said to her is, I said, I'm a human being. How would you think that I don't cry? And in that moment, it was very clear to me how we're perceived, which is you and I literally work the same job. You came in here to cry too. How would you think I was crying? We both left the same meeting in which we were both crushed. Why would I be the one that's like, yeah, I got this? That's how we're perceived. She said, I didn't even know you cry. Like it was a function I didn't come with. Like, I don't have that feature. Like tears.
She's like, I thought you were going to comfort me. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
And I was so ashamed that I was like trying to suck it up.
Right.
And so that was a moment of us seeing each other and going, whoa, there's a stigma here that just played out.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, and to keep it 100, at some point in my life, I stopped crying too. So I understand what you're crying. Because again, we're given this S on our chest that we didn't ask for. And the cape that I have given back, return to sender. So it's multifaceted, but the fact that, it was again, a beneficial moment, but a sad moment in the workplace because she got to learn about you, and you probably already knew this about her, but yes, you had this space. Yes, we are the same. We are humans. No one is built differently. We just display our emotions differently. Most of us don't cry in public. So yes, but teachable moments. Yes.
We love a good old teachable moment.
We do. We
ain't got no choice.
Right. We're in this. Yes. So when we think about the steps that can lead, to altering our mindset, and so that we can understand like who we are without really going down all of our trauma and triggers that we've experienced in life, what things would you give, or what techniques would you provide to women in careers to help them as they progress?
So, and I love that you made the point about not re-triggering yourself, because I do think part of healing is processing trauma, but we don't have to live there all the time. And I don't like that sometimes that is advertised like you should be constantly healing and like digging up rough things. We don't always have to do that. Where I like to start is challenge your beliefs. So I like to do exercises and I actually used to work with a finance coach who taught me how to do this, which is, what are your beliefs around money and where did you learn them? So even if you start with a simple list, like what are 10 things you believe about money? You might come up with things like, I have to work hard to make money, or people that have a lot of money are immoral, or people will think I'm greedy if I have a lot of money. Once you see it on paper, that's step one. So you can take an inventory of what you believe. But then you go the step further, and in the kind of next half of the page, where did you learn each of those thoughts? And once you begin to identify it, oh, my parents told me that. I learned that at church. I learned that in the community. That's a racial thing. That's a cultural thing. Then you start to see, wait a minute. These are not necessarily the truth. They're just my current truths. Or they're truths I've adopted from somewhere else. And I absorb them to be my own truth. That's where I like to start, because then if you look at those statements, you can actually see where the flawed logic comes in. So for example, you have to work hard for money. We know plenty of people who went viral for having a purple sock on TikTok and they're a millionaire, right? So you know that you don't necessarily have to, or all rich people are bad. We know that's not true. We can look at a bunch of philanthropists who do great work with their money. So once we take the inventory and we see whose thought it is, we can kindly give it back to them and rewrite our own thoughts. And the more we affirm, that's what becomes your affirmation. I don't necessarily have to work super hard for money. I can have work-life balance and be successful. do. And then the more you say those, you're rewriting the script. So you can reprogram without having to go down into the ugly stuff necessarily.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes. Therapy. Yes. Yes.
And it goes hand in hand because therapy
Right.
is slightly different than mindset work. They align and they cross over, but I think they are definitely two different pieces of work, to your point.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Nikki, in one of your elevation chats, you stated that it gets greater later. Can you give us some examples of how this has played out in your life and, how you learn to embrace the wait? Because sometimes it can feel like it's taking forever.
So I think there is an obsession with youth, and we forget that mastery actually takes time. And that's one of the things I like to focus on. There used to be a thing called 10,000 hours to become a master of anything. So back when you had to do a trade, you couldn't actually be called a master of that trade until you did 10,000 hours. So for me, for example, I worked in tech for, I want to say 5 or 6 years at a startup before I ever worked for a big tech. And I remember so many of those years, I felt so overlooked and like, man, can I even get further in tech? Do I have what it takes? Maybe this one was a fluke and that's it. And I can't go any further. And I kept seeing people advance in front of me, but there is such a thing as perfect timing. When I happened to be hired, within 3 months of that, the company I was at was sold. And the way I was actually hired is that someone I worked with moved on to this other tech company, left his team, and then literally called me at my desk and said, hey, I have a job opening and I just told my manager about you, come on over. Mind you, I had applied to this place 5 times and heard nothing. So if I had stopped believing at that 5th application where I'm hearing nothing, I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in, right? Coaching, funny story. I actually stopped coaching for a year. I went through a lot of personal struggles in 2021, stopped coaching, came back. I wasn't even on TikTok. That was, let's get on another platform and see what happens. Will people want me to even come back as a coach? So there have been so many times in my life where it can start and stop, or it can come later than you think. But really, at the end of the day, it is always perfectly on time when you look at it in hindsight. And so that's the thing I tell people is it seems like it's too long because it hasn't come yet. When it comes, you'll see why it was the perfect time.
Right. Woo! All these gems and mic drops. Yes, yes, and yes. I totally agree with everything you said. And sometimes you just have to go through the process, the skill sets that you'll learn, or your level of maturity, or just like you said, everything just aligning. It's just, but we all want it tomorrow. Yeah. We want the millions tomorrow. We don't want to wait. Yes, yes. I love that. And then, so your manifestation workbook, Style Your Life. It breaks down the law of attraction and provides insight on how people can manifest magic. What was your intention for creating this workbook?
My intention was to provide practical tools because for me, I don't like to deal with fluff. I think it's easy to get online and say a bunch of things and get people excited, but people are really out here looking for tools. There are people, and to me, I look at the law of attraction and all of these spiritual principles like this. A, they've been around for years, but B, they're for the people who don't have advantage, right? For so many people who don't have privilege, your mindset and learning how to play this game is how you get ahead. If you don't have the connections, if you don't have the backup, if you don't have the rich parents, which I didn't have any of that. So for me, I can't play with people's intentions. There's people out here who are really brilliant, who really are talented, and they just can't put 1 and 2 and 3 together to figure out how. I've been there. So for me, I'm like, no, we have to really actually break this thing down the way I learned it, actionable steps I've taken, actionable exercises that I've done, so people can actually see movement and see results and feel like they're getting somewhere. That to me is super important.
And thank
Nikki,
you.
I love that so much because we were thinking about like why we created this show, because it has helped us heal, and it continues. Like, I feel like you are very connected to your work because it has worked for you. It's like there's no, I'm not selling you something that I don't live.
Correct.
Yeah. I just appreciate that.
100%. To me, I think that is the beauty of doing this work, is it's heart-led work, right? I don't sell cars. You know what I mean? So I think, and even what you ladies do as well, I think that's the beauty of living out your purpose. It's not just a business to me. This is a purpose. And of course, the business end is just reciprocation of energy is how I look at it. I did do some work.
Yes.
We
do a
should
lot
be
of work.
compensated in kind. Yeah. So
So Nikki, while promoting this Boss Lady conversation with you to our insiders, we received this question from one of our boss ladies. Dear Nikki, your post about anxiety and Black women changed my life. Thank you. You really helped me to see myself and my supervisor in a different light. We are both Black women. Her anxiety seems to show up as angry and confrontational. My anxiety shows up as embarrassment, shame, and I also shut down. Even asking what I consider to be a low-risk question elicits a demeaning response from her. This causes me to shut down, and I try to avoid her as much as possible. And to be honest, it also makes me want to fight. How can I do a better job at setting boundaries, navigating my own pain, knowing that I can't change her trauma, her coping mechanisms, or her choices?
That's a great question. And I think a lot of people end up in these situations because, again, we're all thrown into the mix of a working situation. And I've been here. I think the first thing is she's already done the first step of recognizing that her manager is dealing with anxiety and how it's being expressed. And so I love that she's not starting in blame. That's step one. I think the second thing, though, is have you communicated with this person? Because to me, that's usually where most things live and die. For me, if I were in that situation, I would at least start with communication to say, hey, I noticed you're really overwhelmed and super stressed out, and rightfully so. But it's really hard for me to be able to help you and support you when I feel like that stress is being taken out on me. And I know you may not intend it that way, but it's coming across that way. And it's not just hurtful, but it makes it tough to work with you, right? And so if you see me get quiet, it's because I don't know how to respond. Sometimes when you throw out that little olive branch, that opens the door for communication to say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was coming off that way. Or, wow, I'm so sorry, that was not my intention. Right. Or this is where you really see if you're in a toxic work environment. If she does not care, that's where you start shining up the old resume and looking on Indeed.com, because that's a toxic work environment. Most people, though, can respond to heartfelt communication where they don't feel like the finger is being pointed and where you use I feel statements. So I understand that you're frustrated, but when it comes at me in an angry way, I get anxious and I'm not sure how to respond, so I shut down. And I really want us to have open communication. So I would love to discuss how we can get to that place and work together in a better way.
Wow.
That's powerful. You give so many options. You're like, okay, so if they don't care, then you're basically talking to the wall and then you know what you need to do. Right, right.
I love how we all vibed at the same time. You was like, dude, you like, boom. I was like, boom. Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. Which is not easy. It's not easy. Or sometimes, people change and positions change and you might just outlast that person.
The other thing sometimes, and really, I will also say while you're in that position, protect your own energy. You know that this person is expressing something and it has nothing to do with you. I'm going to divorce myself from feeling responsible for their energy. And I'm also not going to feel obligated to respond in kind because you're really actually disrespecting me. So what I'm going to do is get my work done, be cordial, be professional, and keep it pushing. And keep myself protected to know, hey, this may not be the be all and end all job for me. So I'm going to listen to my little devotionals or good music or whatever while I'm at work and just stay in my zone, because sometimes that is a part of life. Sometimes we can't just move on like that, but you do have to protect your mental health for sure.
Absolutely. I love that response. And honestly, I listened to one of your TikToks before one of my meetings today.
Really? Oh, I'm so glad.
And you were like, go take a walk for 5 minutes or listen to some music and like really, like you say, protect your energy. And honestly, it changed my whole mindset. I was really anxious about the meeting because I didn't know how it was going to go. But after I did that, and this is 100% because everybody know I'm very honest. I went into the meeting and I just smiled and I just made sure that my level stayed where it needs to be. And I didn't drop to that person's level. I asked my questions. If I got them answered, I did. If I didn't, I didn't.
Mhm.
I didn't take it personal. I didn't like want to, slam the computer down.
Mhm, mhm. 'Cause isn't it
I wasn't
amazing
thinking any words in my head.
right? And isn't it amazing how those experiences happen inside of us?
It
Right.
does.
Right. So we're like, oh, I was at a meeting and it was crazy. Was it crazy or did it feel you inside of you felt like a storm? So the more we fortify and stabilize ourselves inside, it's like, okay.
Right.
I wanted to act a little fool, but I'm okay.
I'm okay. I'm
I'm gonna keep
okay.
it cute.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it real cute.
We're gonna keep it cute and keep it moving. And
Mhm.
another tip that I really like that you gave, I think it was when someone was thinking about they was gonna take the bus to work and they like, if I miss the bus, then my day is jacked up. No, if you miss the bus, you take an Uber. Really
Mhm.
shifting
Mhm.
how you think about things. And that does
Mhm.
make a difference. Because I used to listen to certain types of music, aka rap music, on the way to work.
Yeah.
And I would come in like really hyphy, and I'd be like, okay, that's probably
Yeah.
not what I want to do.
Not the direction I want to come in on. But that
Right.
stuff is good for the gym.
Right,
When you
right,
want to feel
exactly.
high.
On
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Stairmaster. Do you
Yes.
understand me? Because that's what
Absolutely.
get that extra 2 minutes in.
Exactly.
Right. But for
Yeah.
work, I might want to do some jazz or some Jill Scott.
Mhm. Right. And it's all programming your energy on how you want to feel. Absolutely.
Yes. So thank you.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, Nikki, we're going to have a little fun and share some tidbits
Okay.
from at Black Wall Street.
Okay.
We posted from Instagram from I am Randy Pyron. So I'm going to share these prompts with you, and you can tell me whether you think it's anxiety or a culture thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the first one is we don't care whose shoes we wear to get the groceries. Anxiety or culture?
We don't care whose shoes we wear to get the groceries.
If the shoes are by the door,
Oh, that might be a cultural thing. Maybe, because I haven't heard that one. That's interesting.
Me neither. I was about to check my black card. Like,
Right? I'm like, okay.
try another one. We will crack an egg open and put the shells back in the egg carton.
Ooh.
Anxiety or culture?
I love because see, that's like personal preference, because that would drive me nuts. And I can't say culture because I know there's probably a lot of Black people that would cuss me out about doing that. So maybe anxiety. I don't know.
Maybe. That does sound like a little bit of anxiety.
Right? Like, you don't need the
Yeah.
shell, babe. It's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, let it go. Let it go. Yeah. We tap the toilet for no reason after we're done cleaning it.
Tap it.
And also pots. Just tap.
Oh, that's
tapping
cultural.
stuff. Just
That's
pop.
cultural. Yeah. That's just, saying hey to the spirits. Hey, y'all.
I love this.
Okay. We start looking up the actors when watching a movie.
Oh, that's cultural. I'm on your gram for sure.
Yeah.
Stalking.
Especially if we like it.
Let them not be cute.
Right.
True. Very true.
It reminds me of Dave Chappelle said, when Black people's power goes out, when white people's power go out, they panic.
Yeah.
So maybe that one's cultural.
Yeah, that's feeling like culture too. I agree. Thank you. Thank you for playing.
That was fun. I like that.
I know. That was good for me. I was like, really? Because it's like you don't know until you know. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, everybody don't do that? You're like, oh. I didn't know people didn't do that. I thought that was a thing.
Right.
You're like, no, that's a Black thing.
Just you.
Yeah, just you. Okay. Or just you. Right. Yes.
Right.
So with that, Nikki, we are Boss Lady Conversations. So what boss ladies would you say help you stand in your greatness?
Ooh, well, controversial probably, but always Oprah.
Oh,
Always
Oprah.
And for the one reason, which is that she's an example of holistic success. Because she might be a billionaire, but she's also hiking with Gail and pulling turnips out of her garden. And I love that for her.
So
there's that. I would also say Bozoma St. John is somebody I follow who is, she was formerly the CMO of marketing for Netflix. She's a powerhouse. She's worked at probably every big tech company there is, heading up their marketing divisions, but powerful Black woman who just has a very strong voice and encourages women to walk in their authenticity. So I follow her as well. Who else? I mean, I think I come from an old school in which, like, growing up in the 80s and 90s, I follow a lot of like those trailblazers and look at, even when it comes to music, I'm a huge music fan. So I look at people like your Missy Elliott's and your Mary J. Blige, like people who really have had challenges and have had some things and have had to like pick up their life and make it work. People like that really inspire me a lot.
I love that. I agree as well. And we really didn't get a chance to talk about like in detail your coaching. So for our listeners, would you like to give just a summary about what your coaching experience is like?
Absolutely. So I like to look at success again from a holistic wheel. I believe that the true wealth includes wellness. So my program does three things. First, we look at how to manifest. What are the energetics behind attracting more abundance into your life? Whether that's building a business, advancing in your career, what are the kind of laws, tools, mindsets required to get there? But then we're also going to look at what healing work needs to take place to allow that, right? People always talk about the law of attraction. They don't realize there's a law of allowing. And when we have certain blockers, whether it's energetically or mental, it's hard for us to even allow those experiences in and for us to elevate. So we step through some of that healing work. I would say therapy light. So I'm not going to have you crying on the floor, but we're going to go through some real things and get through some blockers. And then 3, figuring out how to navigate a higher vibration. So I like to say my program is for people that are trying to get there and folks that have gotten there. It's a beautiful community and we feed into each other such that the third leg is, okay, you can manifest all the dollars in the world, but how is your spirituality? How is your mental health? What does your wellness ritual look like? What are your daily habits looking like to ensure that you can maintain that level of success and not burn out and remain connected and heart-centered through that? So we really focus around kind of those 3 modules and create some pretty big shifts in people when they're feeling stuck.
Woo! Yes,
Oh.
yes, and yes. Yes,
that
beautiful.
sounds wonderful, because so much coaching is like getting to your successful place, right? And then bye. It's like
They drop you off. And there's a lot that comes with that. There's a lot. And I think especially for women of color, it is a specific experience, especially if you're coming from not having a lot. And no one talks about that. And that's why I call my program the Elevation Experience, because there were so many things that I'm like, okay, I got the money, but nobody told me this part was going to happen. Like, wait, I feel set up. No one told me. So I think to your point, it feels irresponsible to lead you to the precipice and throw you off. So I really feel like having a holistic program that guides you through, because it's a cycle, right? You manifest, you figure out how to maintain. You manifest another level, you figure out how to maintain. So what you learn, you can use it for the rest of your life.
and it really works for you in every facet of your life with that level of mindset.
Exactly. Exactly.
So powerful.
Thank you.
And
How would Boss Ladies book a session with you?
You can go to my website. So my calendar is opening February 1st for 1-to-1 sessions. And then the group program is opening for 10 ladies. I like to keep it fairly small so I can be hands-on. And we do 1 group coaching session a week with limited email access to me and exclusive video content. So all of that is on the website. My wait list is open for the coaching program already. And as of Feb 1, you can go straight to the website and book a one-on-one with me.
yay.
Phenomenal. And what's the website?
It is www.thestyleshaman.com. So that's style, SHAMAN.com.
Wonderful. Boss Ladies, we hope that you enjoyed all of the priceless gems that Boss Lady Nikki Valentine dropped today. Here's a recap of some of the many, many gems that Nikki shared with us. Number 1, if it doesn't exist, create it. Number 2, challenge your beliefs. Start with a simple list and take an inventory of what you believe. Identify where you learned these beliefs. Number 3, once you take the inventory, we can rewrite our stories and reprogram our minds. Number 4, when you find yourself in a difficult situation, try not to start with blame. Number 5, see if the person will respond to heartfelt communication. If not, it's time to shine up your resume and move on. Number 6, protect your own energy. Divorce yourself from responding to their energy. And number 7, protect your mental health.
I love that. Thank you, ladies, so much. This has been a blast.
Yes. Woo! Coach Kaya knows how to run it back.
I was going to say, you're like processing. I need her in meetings.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
She is
I
amazing.
appreciate it.
This is definitely
No, you
important.
dropped all of these gems and more. I feel like this is an episode people are just gonna play, put on repeat. Something else is gonna sink in, and then they're gonna go to your TikTok and Instagram and just get all the gems and continue to boss up out here. That's the
That's what
point.
I want. Exactly. We just need to boss
Mhm.
up, stay well, feeling good. Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so
Well,
much for being with us.
Thank you, ladies, so much, and blessings. I love the work that you're doing. Definitely continue. We need it.
yes. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Whoa, and there it is. We really hope you enjoyed connecting with Boss Lady Nikki Valentine and learning more about how self-awareness can elevate your life. Please follow Nikki on IG and TikTok at iNikkiValentine. Thank you again, Nikki. And Boss Ladies, please don't forget to purchase our journal, Boss Lady Manifesto Journal, commitments designed to keep you and the little queen inside you bossed up, available on Amazon. Thank you so much.